Hello, welcome everybody. My name's Jessica and this is Hadley. And we're going to take you through a beginner practice. I initially designed this practice for a student of mine who had gone through some injuries and had gone through a long break from her practice and wanted to start nice and slow. So whether this is your first yoga practice or you're just getting started, or whether you're coming back to practice after a long hiatus, or whether you have some injuries and want to take it slow, this practice is for you. So Hadley, we're going to start standing actually. And we're just going to start by warming up all of the major joints of the body nice and slow. So first, I want you to take your head to the right side, look over your right shoulder, and then bring your nose back to the center, and then look over your left shoulder, and bring your nose back to the center, again to the right side, and center, and left side, and center. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder, and then come back up to the center, and then bring your left ear to your left shoulder. Come back up to the center. Right ear, right shoulder, and center, left ear, left shoulder, and center. Good. Again, right ear to right shoulder. This time you're going to bring your chin towards your sternum, and then left ear to left shoulder. Try to keep your shoulders nice and steady, and then bring your chin towards your chest, and right ear towards right shoulder. Good. Lift your head back up to the center. We're going to roll out the wrists, so make two just loose fists with your hands, and we're going to roll one direction, and then go ahead and go the other direction. Good. Okay. And then stretch the inner part of your wrist. So make your arms nice and long and pull the back of the hand back towards your elbows so that you're really emphasizing the stretch on the inner wrist. Good. And then come back to the center. I want you to close your thumb inside of your fist. Keep your forearms and elbows nice and steady. And I want you to sort of imagine that you're sort of punching the wrist down. So it's as if you're punching the pinky side of the finger down, of the fist down into the floor. That's it. And now try to keep the arms and the forearms nice and steady. Keep going. That's it. So it can be tempting to like move the arms around while you're doing this, but keep the arms nice and steady so you're really getting that beautiful inner wrist stretch, that tendon that runs along the inner side of the wrist. Good. And then open up your hands, and then we'll stretch the backs of the wrists. So again, really lengthening on the top part of the wrist there. Good. Turn your hands around again, touch your shoulders. And then we're going to take huge circles with the elbows. Try to touch the inner elbows as close to together as you can every single time you circle around. Big circles. That's it. Warming up the shoulder joint. Good. And then go the other way. Okay, reach the arms up overhead. Clasp the hands together into one fist, stretching the elbows. And then bend to your right side, taking a nice side bend. Good. Come on back up to center, and then bend to the left side. Up to the center and to the right again. And up to the center and to the left side. And then keeping the fingers interlaced, place the hands at the base of your skull. Good. Imagine you want to push the center of your chest forward as you wing the elbows way back. So chest trying to move forward, elbows trying to move back, as if from the side view, you want your chest to be in front of the line of your elbows. And then push the back of your head into your hands just a little bit. Good. Excellent. Now, come back up to center and touch your fingertips to your shoulders again. And we're going to take these like loosey-goosey twists. So you're just going to twist right and left side. Just have the feet nice and even on the floor. Good. That's it. I know. It might feel a little silly at first, but it feels really good, I think. Okay, good. That's it. Okay, now we're going to take some high steps. So bend your knee all the way up to your chest. Bend, bend. That's it. Bend, bend. Good. Warming up the hips. warming up the hips. And then feet on the floor again. We're going to take the right foot forward first. Now, if the balance is challenging, you can also just rest one hand against a wall or lightly rest a hand against a chair if balancing on one leg is still a little tricky. So you're going to roll the right ankle in one direction. Good. That's it. And then go the other way. And then flex your foot and point and flex and point. Nice. Flex and point and flex and point. And then bring the feet together. And we'll do the other side. So left foot points forward. Take some nice big circles. Be sure that when you're circling your ankle that you're not taking your whole hip along for the ride. So just try to isolate the ankle movement and then go the other way. And then flex the foot and point and flex and point and flex and point and bring the feet together. Good. So standing with your weight nice and even on both feet. Now that may mean that the feet are a little bit separated for now, or it may mean the feet are all the way together. That part's up to you. Stand up tall, bend the knees just a little bit. Good. Warming up the ankles. Extend the legs. Good. Bend the knees. And extend. Bend. And extend. Stay nice and upright in the spine. Bend. And extend. And then see if you can lift both heels high up. And then heels down. And bend your knees. Good. Extend the legs. Heels up. Woo. And heels down. Bend the knees. Again, extend the legs. Heels up. Heels down. Bend the knees. Now extend the legs. Lift the heels up. Now this is a bit of a brain warm up as well as an ankle warm up. Keep the heels lifting. Try to bend the knees. Good. Keep the knees bent. Try to press the heels down into the floor and then extend the legs. And then we're going to reverse that. So bend the knees. Keep the knees bent. Lift the heels up. Good. Keep the heels lifting. Try to extend the legs and then press the heels down. One more time all the way through. So heels up. Good. Keep the heels lifting. Bend the knees. Whoop. Knees stay bending. Press the heels down. And extend the legs. Last times, bend, heels lift, heels stay lifting, extend, and then press the heels down. Awesome. Okay. Come to a hands and knees position on your mat. So reach the right arm forward out in front of you and reach the left leg back. So opposite arm and leg. Good. And then try to hold. Try to pull the lower abdomen up into the body a little bit so that you're really supporting the balance with the muscles of the core. Good. And then place the right hand down and the left knee down. And then we'll switch and do the other side. So left arm reaches forward, right leg reaches back. Pull the abdomen in strong. And make sure you're not just collapsing down into that right arm. Really push the right hand down into the floor. Feel like you can lift up out of the shoulder and out of the wrist. Good. And then release down. And then we're going to take that same movement, but we're going to do kind of one breath at a time. So on the inhale, lift your right arm and your left leg. And then on the exhale, release down. Try to coordinate breath and movement together. Inhale, switch. Exhale, release down. Good. Inhale, switch. Exhale, release. Good. Inhale, switch. Exhale, release. Keep going. Do this a couple more times on each side. And again, we're trying to get the movement of the breath and the movement of the body coordinated together. Good. I know it's harder than it looks, but keep working on it and keep working towards it. Okay, last times. And then come back to the center. Okay, now we're going to take a little bit of a twist. So from your hands and knees position, bring your left arm and thread it underneath your right arm. The right elbow is going to bend up to the ceiling. Hadley is able to get her left shoulder and her left ear down towards the floor. If the side of your ear and the side of your shoulder is not all the way on the floor yet, that's okay. Go as far as you can for today, and then tomorrow you'll be able to go a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further every day. Okay, come on back to the center, and then we'll do the other side. So the right arm is going to thread through the left side. Left elbow bends up to the ceiling. Again, eventually the right ear, right shoulder will come down towards the floor, but don't worry too much about it for today if it's not happening. And then make sure the pelvis also stays level. So you don't want to sort of bring your hips along for the ride. Okay, come back to the center. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to press back into a downward facing dog. We're going to hold for 5 breaths, but I want you to just aim for 5 breaths. And then whether you stay there for 1 or 3 or 5, it's a success, okay? So tuck the toes under, and then we're going to lift the knees up and back, extending the hips up towards the ceiling, dropping the head down, downward facing dog. If this shape feels a little too difficult, you can soften the knees and send the sitting bones a little bit higher up to, and work up into it. So again, let's aim for 5 breaths. However many you get is great. Inhale. Exhale. 1. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Good. Push both hands down into the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 4. Inhale. And exhale. Set the knees down. Okay. Take a brief rest. Remember, even if you got into your first breath in downward dog, that's a win. So after you've taken a nice, satisfying rest, we're going to try one more time to come into downward dog. Again, we're going to aim for 5 breaths, but anywhere between 1 and 5 is great. So go ahead and come into hands and knees, tucking the toes under, lift the knees up and back. Good. Send the hips high up into the air. Again, the knees can be a little bit bent if legs extended feels too difficult for today. Inhale. Exhale. 1. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Inhale. Exhale. 3. Inhale. Exhale. Head and neck relax. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Knees to the floor. And take a rest. Okay, let's come up to a standing position. And you can turn to face the side. Open your feet nice and wide apart. Good. If that width feels too difficult, take a little bit narrower of a stance for now, and then you'll sort of work on the stance getting wider over time. So we're going to work on some standing poses, starting with triangle pose. So rotate your right toes all the way out to the right, and then turn your left toes in at a little bit of an angle. Bring the arms up to shoulder height. Reach all the way long to the right side, and then place the right hand down either on the leg or on a block. Good. And then the left arm reaches straight up to the ceiling. Now, if you're still working on your balance, you can either look straight ahead of you at the wall in front of you, or you can start to turn your head to look up towards the left hand. Good. Okay. Lift all the way up to standing. Release the arms and switch the direction of the feet. So left toes turn out, right toes turn in. Good. Bring the arms up to shoulder height. Reach long to the left and then place the left hand down on a block or on the leg as the right arm reaches straight up. Good. And again, if the balance is tricky or if it's causing any tension in the neck, you can just look straight ahead of you, or you can turn and look up towards the right hand. Try to have a sense of the weight being really evenly distributed across the 2 feet. So pressing down through both feet evenly to hold up the pose. Good. Lift all the way up. and release the arms. So we're going to do that again on both sides, and this time we're going to focus more on the breath than on the position of the pose. So arrange the feet just like we practiced. On the inhale, bring your arms up to shoulder height. On the exhale, reach all the way long to the right side, coming into your triangle pose. Good. Gaze can either be in front of you or at the left hand. Inhale. Exhale. 1. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Inhale. Exhale. 3. Inhale. Exhale. 4. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Lift all the way up to standing. And then as you exhale, release the arms. Good. Switch the feet. So left toes turn out now, right toes turn in. On the inhale, bring the arms up to shoulder height. Exhale, reach all the way to the left side. Left hand can touch down to the block or to the leg. Right arm reaches up. Good. Inhale. Exhale. 1. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Inhale. Exhale. 3. Inhale. Exhale. 4. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lift all the way upright. And as you exhale, release the arms. Good. So we're going to swivel the feet around again. So right toes turn out, left toes turn in a little bit. And then bring your arms up to shoulder height, just like we did for triangle pose. This time, you're going to bend the right knee all the way over the right ankle. Now, Hadley is used to this pose, so she's taking her feet a little bit wider and sitting a little bit deeper in the stance. If that feels too difficult, make the feet a little bit shorter and don't sit quite as low into it. It's perfectly fine. Good. Now, we want to make sure that the right knee is positioned right over the ankle. So we don't want it going to the inside or going too far to the outside, but directly positioned over the ankle. And then Hadley's also gazing out over the right hand. Okay, straighten the right leg and then release the arms and we'll switch the feet around. So left toes out, right toes in. Bring the arms to shoulder height. Good. Bend into the left knee. Good. And then also try to make sure that the trunk is positioned right over the hips. So sometimes there's a tendency to lean way forward or to lean the rib cage forward this way. But try to get your shoulders right up over your hips. And it'll actually make the arms and the trunk feel a bit lighter because it won't be sort of hovering in space. Okay. Extend the left leg, release the arms, and switch the feet. So we're going to come into the same pose again, warrior two pose. This time we're going to focus more on breathing than anything else. So start in your standing position. Yep. Okay. On the inhale, reach your arms up. Good. On the exhale, bend the right knee. Warrior two. 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 1. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Good. Anchor the back foot down strong. Inhale. Exhale. 3. Inhale. Exhale. 4. Inhale. Exhale. 5. Good. As you inhale, straighten the right leg. As you exhale, release the arms. We'll swivel the feet all the way around again. So left toes out, right toes in. Inhale, arms come up to shoulder height. Exhaling, bend the left knee. Good. And again, you don't have to go quite as far as Hadley goes if this is too intense. Inhale. Exhale. 1. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Inhale. Exhale. 3. Inhale. Feel the strength of your legs. Exhale. 4. Inhale. Exhale. 5. Good. Inhale, straighten, and then release the arms and parallel the feet. Okay, one more like this. We're going to turn the right toes out again. Left toes in at a little bit of an angle. Good. Bring the arms up to shoulder height, just like we've been doing. Bend the right knee. Now you're going to touch the right elbow along the right leg somewhere, but make sure that you're not sort of sinking down into that shoulder. Almost push your forearm against your leg a little bit so you're lifting up out of the right shoulder and the right forearm. And then we're going to reach the left arm all the way overhead as if you want to sort of touch the wall past the crown of your head. Good. Now, make sure that the back foot isn't sort of peeling up away from the floor. So you want to have the outer edge of the back foot nice and anchored down. And then here comes the hardest part of the pose. Lift all the way up to standing. Yeah, good. And then release the arms and switch the feet. Good. Arms up to shoulder height. Bend the left knee. Good. Take the left elbow across the left leg, just like so. And again, your stance doesn't have to be so wide. It can be a little narrower and a little shorter until you're more comfortable getting wider with the stance. Good. And again, lifting up out of the left shoulder, not sinking down into it, and making sure the outer edge of the back foot is really anchored down. Good. Okay, hardest part of the whole class. Lift all the way up to stand. There you go. And release the arms. If this pose feels too intense, or if any of the poses feel too intense for now, just skip over it. And then the next time you do the class, you can add it back in, or you can try it again tomorrow or next week or whenever it feels right. Okay? So let's do that pose one more time, and this time with breathing. Okay, on the inhale, bring the arms up to shoulder height. On the exhale, bend the right knee, touch the right elbow lightly against the right leg. Left arm reaches all the way over. Inhale, exhale, 1. Inhale, exhale, 2. Trying to turn the center of the chest towards the wall we're facing. 3. Inhale, exhale, 4. Inhale, and exhale. Good. On the inhale, lift all the way upright. Exhale, release the arms and switch the feet. Good. Inhale the arms to shoulder height. Exhale, bend the left knee. Take the left elbow gently across the left leg. Right arm reaches all the way up overhead. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. 1. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Make sure you shrug the shoulders down away from the ears. Exhale. 3. Inhale. Exhale. 4. Inhale. And exhale. On the inhale, lift all the way upright and then release the arms. Okay, so now we're going to parallel the feet. Even turn the toes a little bit in towards each other. And for today, we're going to grab the blocks. So I'm going to put blocks right in front of Hadley so that when she folds forward, she can place her hands right on these blocks. So go ahead, fold all the way forward. Hands on the blocks. As you get more mobile and more flexible, you can start to move the hands down towards the floor. You can even move the blocks out from under your hands. But for now, let's just keep the hands on the blocks. Good. And then make sure you position your hips right over your ankles. So we don't want to be dragging the hips way back. You'll feel it because you'll be way back in your heels. Or you don't want to be so far forward that it feels like your hips could lift up, but right in the center. Good. And, more than anything, I want you to feel sort of an elongation across the waist. So the right side of the waist, left side of the waist, but also the front and the back of the waist feel nice and long. And then slowly over the course of practice, you might be able to move your blocks down a little bit lower, or maybe you can even touch the floor eventually. Even if that's not happening today, you might still have blocks under your hands. And then the sensation is sort of one of lifting the backs of the legs up towards the ceiling. Now, Hadley's been doing this a long time, so don't worry if your pose doesn't look exactly like Hadley's for now. Okay, good. Lift the head and the chest. And then I'm going to have Hadley put the hands on the blocks again, and we're going to start to narrow the stance for the forward fold. So bring your feet just a touch wider than hip width distance. Yeah. So we're just going to heel to the feet in a little bit closer. Good. And go ahead. Fold forward. Hands on the blocks for now. Good. That's it. So mainly, I don't want your arms dangling in space. So if you're not able to reach something, that's what the blocks are for. You're going to put your hands on blocks, or if you don't have blocks around, or if the blocks are too low, you can also hold the back of the chair, or you can even hold onto a wall. Just make sure that the hands are able to ground down into something so that you're not, again, just sort of hanging out in space. Okay, good. Okay, so now we're going to try Some side leg lifts, everybody's favorite pose. No, I kid. They're challenging, but give it a try. Place the hands on the blocks. Good. And again, this is one that you want to really be able to ground the surface of the hand into the blocks for. And for now, we're just going to try one breath. So for one breath, you're going to inhale the right leg up to the right side, and then you're going to exhale back down. Even if your foot only lifts up this high off the floor, I want you to try it. Try the left side with us. Inhale, left leg to the left side. And exhale down. Good. So practicing switching the weight in the feet as well. Inhale, right leg to right side. Exhale down. Inhale, left leg to left side. Your leg does not have to go that high. Exhale down. Now let's try holding the right side for 3 breaths. So inhale, lift up. Good. And exhale, stay. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, release. Good. Sometimes when we're building strength up again, it can feel intense. Sometimes the sensations feel intense, but that's okay. That often means that we're building muscle, building strength, building flexibility. So stick with it if you can. Inhale the left leg to the left side. Exhale, stay. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Put your leg down. Thank goodness that's over, right? So again, not easy, but keep working up to it, okay? All right, bring your hands onto your hips. Lift all the way upright. Great. So now we're going to work towards a single leg balance or tree pose. So let's give you a chair just in case the balance is tricky. You're going to put one hand on the chair there. Now, all I want you to do is lift the right heel up away from the floor. And then start to rotate the right knee out to the right side and let the right heel rest against the left ankle. So you're welcome to keep the tippy toes on the floor for today's practice. Or if you're feeling balanced, you can start to move your foot up to the calf muscle. Or as you progress, you can start to move the foot to above the knee. But for now, let's keep it low. Yeah. There we go. Good. So choose the position of your foot that helps you stay balanced and that you can breathe easily. Good. So if you're new to this pose, you can keep one hand lightly touching the floor. Try not to lean on it too much, just lightly so that you can keep your balance. And then start to bring like one hand towards the center of your chest. And then as you get braver and feel more stable, maybe you can bring the second hand to the center of your chest, lifting up tall. That's it. Breathe in. Breathe out. 1. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Inhale. Exhale. 3. Good. Go ahead and bring the feet together again. Okay, so same thing, other side. So one hand can lightly touch a chair or touch the wall for support. Start to lift the left heel up. Really feel the right foot grounding down into the floor. And then start to turn the left knee out to the left side. So feel how stable and grounded the right leg feels. And then when you feel really steady, you can start to move the left foot a little higher up the leg. Or if that's not for you today, keep your tippy toes on the floor. Good. And then as we build strength in the right leg now, maybe you can bring one hand towards the chest. You can either stay there or you can bring 2 hands to the chest. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Inhale. Exhale. 3. Good. Bring both feet together and relax. Good. So don't be afraid to push your boundaries a little bit in the poses. And as you start to feel stronger, you can hold the poses for more consecutive breaths, or you can try the poses multiple times, 2 or 3 or 4 times as you build up strength. Okay. So now we're going to lay down on the abdomen. So go ahead and lay down on your abdomen. Great. And first thing we're going to do is prop yourself up on your forearms for what we often call Sphinx pose. So the elbows want to be situated just in front of the armpits and the forearms just about parallel if possible. Fan the fingers out. Now, imagine that you want to sort of pull the floor towards you with your fingertips so that it's as if you're trying to pull the center of the chest forward of the upper arm bones. There won't be that much movement involved. It's a very subtle movement, but from inside you'll feel that action happening. And then I want you to think of keeping everything from the waist down, just relaxed for now. Good. So this in and of itself, you can hold here for 3-5 breaths. This in and of itself is a really nice upper chest and upper back opening, and can be really helpful, especially building up some strength in the lower back. Okay, so now we're gonna do some cobra lifts. Bring your hands all the way together so your thumb and your forefinger touch and almost make a little triangle. And then let your elbows rest out to the side, forehead towards the floor. Now, on your inhale, I want you to push your hands down into the floor and lift your head and chest up and try to straighten your arms. Try to straighten your arms all the way. That's it. So very important here, keep everything from the waist down, especially the buttocks, especially the glutes, really relaxed. Yes, completely relaxed. And then as you exhale, slowly make your way down. So very, very important that from your belly button down, everything stay totally loosey-goosey. On the inhale, push up. Good, lift all the way. Exhale, release down, forehead to the floor. Try to link your breath with your movement. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, relax down. That's 3. Now, if that's plenty challenging, keep your hands in the position that they're in already. If you want to increase the challenge, then I'm going to have you move your hands to where your elbows just came from. So they're kind of a little wide and on the either side of your head. And then on the inhale, go ahead, lift up, push down into the floor. Try to extend the arms. Again, keep the buttocks and the lower body completely relaxed. They're not involved in this at all. Exhale, slowly lower down. Good. Inhale, lift up. Good. Exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower. And that's 3. And again, you could keep your hands in this position, or if you're wanting to progress into something a little more challenging, then move your hands back even further so they're sort of either side of your chest. Again, keep the lower half of the body completely relaxed. On the inhale, lift up. Now, your arms might not straighten all the way, or they might, like Hadley's do. But I want you to keep your pelvis and your pubic bone down on the floor. And again, the lower half of the body completely relaxed. So even if that means the elbows don't straighten all the way, that's okay. Exhale, come down. Good. 2 more. Inhale, lift up. Lower half of the body relaxed. Exhale, release down. Inhale, lift up. Good. And exhale, release down. Good. And again, as you build strength and as you build flexibility, you can do more repetitions in each of the positions. Okay. Bring the arms alongside the body. And then shrug the shoulders up away from the floor. Good. Lift your head and lift your chest up. And then you can stay like that, or you can start to lift the legs up as well. Good. And then slowly release down. Okay, now that we know how challenging that is, we're going to lift up again, and we're going to try to take 5 breaths. Okay, so shrug the shoulders up first. Lift the head and the chest up, or as a more difficult variation, lift the legs up. Exhale. 1. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, release down. You can do that a second time if you're building up strength, even a third time. But for now, we're going to roll over onto the back. Good. With the feet placed on the floor, knees going up to the ceiling, I want you to lift the hips up away from the floor, lift the lower back, the upper back away from the floor. And then for now, grab hold of the side edges of the mat and pull the mat apart with the hands, or imagine you're trying to pull it apart. You won't actually be able to pull it apart. Imagine you're trying to pull the mat apart with your hands so that the center of the chest lifts towards the chin, but then relax the chin, relax the throat, relax the neck. Good. So again, it's tempting in this pose to clench the buttocks. Now, you will have to use some activation from the buttocks muscles, but I don't want you to clench the buttock muscles at the expense of all the other muscles of the back side of the body. So see if you can sort of use a little bit less of the buttocks and a little bit more of the muscles along the back and along the backs of the legs if possible. Good. Release down for a moment. We're going to try a second variation of that same pose, and this time using a belt to help us. So you're going to sort of sling the belt, keep the feet where they are. You're going to sling the belt sort of around the front part of the ankle, and you're going to grab the belt, one side of the belt in each hand, just like that. Then lift the hips up again. Good. And then this time you can sort of pull on the belt with the arms in order to lift the chest up towards the chin. But again, the chin relaxes, the neck, the throat relaxes. Okay. So both of those options are really handy and useful. And if you like one of those options better for your practice, you're welcome to do one or the other, or you can mix it up and do one of each. Okay, release down. Okay, I'm going to take that belt away. And then keeping your feet sort of where they are on the floor, imagine that you're just swishing your knees from side to side. Yeah. And you can be sort of loosey-goosey with this twist. Knees to one side, knees to the other side. You can go a little faster if you want to go a little faster, or you can go nice and slow if you want to take it easy. Good. So again, just helping the lower back relax a little bit after all of that back bending we just did. Good. And then we're going to take both knees all the way to the left side and stay there. Good. You can bring the arms out into like a cactus shape and look over your right shoulder. If it's the case that your right shoulder and your right arm are way off the floor, that's okay. I find it easier to put the fingertips sort of on the shoulder so that the weight of the arm isn't pulling on the structures of the shoulder. So it just lessens the stress, right, of the shoulder joint there. Good. And then over time, the right shoulder, the right arm will come closer to the floor. Okay, come back to the center and then take the knees over to the right side. And again, if this side lifts way up, what you might find is that the front part of the shoulder starts to strain or stress a little bit. So you can just touch your own shoulder to bring some of the stress out of that. Good. And then go ahead and come all the way back up to the center. And then we're going to come up to a seated position. Good. And let's have you turn around to face the other side. So I want you to stack up a pretty generous amount of pillows, blankets, blocks, any combination of things so that you can sit right up on them comfortably. Good. Yeah. And I want you to be able to sit up tall. If the legs and the feet don't come all the way together, that's okay. You can take a little bit of separation between the feet. And then we're going to use our belt again. So you're going to take the belt around the soles of the feet. Have one end of the belt in each of your hands. And mainly think about sitting up tall in the upper body. So I'd almost rather have you at like a nice 90-degree shape than try to come forward and let all of that nice shape go. Yeah, exactly. So from there, if you feel like you want to go further, you can walk your hands down towards your feet a little further. But again, notice how Hadley's keeping the upper body really elongated here. The sides of her waist are nice and long. Don't bend your elbows out to the side. If anything, walk your hands down further so that you're not using your biceps and your arms to like pull yourself into the pose. Good. So Hadley can go pretty far because she's been doing this a while. So don't worry if your pose doesn't look like this yet, but just know that as more space becomes available, you can move further and further forward into the pose. Good. Go ahead and lift all the way upright. Keep your belt around your left foot. Bend your right knee and open your right knee out to the side. Good. Your foot probably won't go as high up the leg as Hadley's goes. That's okay. So if your knee sort of hangs out in space like this, I want you to grab something and prop it up. Good. And then same rules apply. So I'd rather you stay as upright and elongated in the torso as you can, and then progressively start to come forward, rather than thinking that the point of the pose is to get as the face as close to the leg as you can. Better to work sort of upright and lifted and gradually walk the hands down towards the extended leg than to try to just get your nose all the way to your knee. Okay, lift up and we'll take the other side. Great. So I'm going to take this block over to the other knee and support under the knee with the block. Good. Lengthening the spine, lifting upright. Good. And then just, again, gradually, as more and more space becomes available, you're welcome to move a little further forward into the pose. Good. Okay. Lift all the way upright. And then stretch both legs forward for a moment. Bend both knees into the chest and open both knees out to the sides. Bring your hands behind your back for starters and push your fingertips either into your cushioning that's behind you or into the floor. And as you push your fingertips down, lift the center of your chest up. Feel like you can lift the creases of your armpits away from your hips. This might be plenty for you. In fact, if when you let go of your hands, your back automatically rounds, then I want you to keep your hands right there, pressing into the bolster or pressing into the floor behind you. If when you let go with your hands, you can stay upright, then go ahead and grab your feet. And then keeping that sense of uprightness or upliftedness in the upper body, maybe you can start to tilt forward a bit from the hip creases. Good. Good. Go ahead and lift all the way up. Bring your legs together. And I'm going to have you actually lay down right on that bolster with your hips on the bolsters. Yeah. Whoop. Bend your knees. Put your feet back where they came from. Okay. Good. Good, good. Okay. So go ahead and put your lower legs right up on this chair. So you're welcome to find a couch or a chair to work nearby. I very much like to take this pose with something under the hips so that the hips have a little bit of height away from the floor. And then I like to let the weight of my legs just completely relax onto the couch or onto the chair so that everything can really relax. And there's this sort of waterfall feeling of the energy of the body sort of dripping down into gravity. And this will be our final pose for today's practice. But you can take this pose every single day. I find it's wonderful to take a few minutes resting like this after a long work day or just as you're getting settled in for the evening, just to help the body and the mind and the heart settle down. Good. Okay, I'm going to take you out of this. You're welcome to stay in that pose at home. And then let me take this bolster out from under you. Go ahead and come to sit up. So thanks everyone at home for watching, and thanks so much to Hadley for demonstrating for us today. I hope you enjoyed the practice.